When you're taken in, you pay some money or you pay a bail bondsman or some sort of other thing. They'll front some money for you. You pay it to them. You're let out. So you're let out. You can be free and run around and do whatever you want until your trial. In the Philippines, according to my sources there,
new updates are coming where there are strong rumors from trusted sources that Vitaly is getting bail or maybe even getting pardoned by the government, because only higher government authorities hold the power to reduce punishment or totally forgive someone. And everyone, including people from the Philippines, knows that. Vitaly's situation can change at any time. There's been a lot of rumors about Vitaly Zdorovetskiy lately. People were saying maybe he'd be released because his condition wasn't good. But now, the real update is coming in. Vitaly is actually getting pardoned. I saw a post recently that said, Vitaly is now getting pardoned. According to Philippine law, there's no chance to grant him bail, so he falls under the Philippine pardon law. In this video, Legal Mindset said that if the bail process works, and importantly, how a foreigner like Vitaly could possibly escape from the Philippines legally or otherwise.
When you're taken in, you pay some money or you pay a bail bondsman or some sort of other thing. They'll front some money for you. You pay it to them. You're let out. So you're let out. You can be free and run around and do whatever you want until your trial. And that is, I like the term someone said in the chat, provisional liberty. So you're given liberty before trial. That is something in the Philippines, according to my sources there, they say that is something that is generally enshrined in their constitution. Foreigners they can just disappear. They can just get on a plane and leave, and they can skip out of town and they'll never come back. And that is the ultimate problem with a foreigner versus someone who lives in that country who cannot really go anywhere.
We've actually gotten some info on how pardons work there. In the Philippines, the president holds the power to forgive criminals. For example, back in 2016, President Duterte granted parole to over 120 prisoners, mainly for humanitarian reasons. Now here's the question. If Duterte could do that, so there is a chance that Bongbong Marcos could also grant this pardon. If Vitaly's health is really bad, is there a chance Marcos might grant him clemency? Personally, I think there's no shortage of corruption there, so if the pardon rumors turn out true, it wouldn't be surprising. But many experts have also broken down some valid reasons and points regarding why, even after so many chances, Vitaly has not been able to get out of the Philippines.
Like, to be honest, if I share my opinion, I'm being really honest. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And that is, the only reason Vitaly is not getting bailed or deported to Russia or America is just because both of these countries have actually denied taking him back. If that wasn't the case, I think as of right now, if Trump or Putin or any Russian or American showed some concern, Vitaly would have gotten back either of these countries a while ago. But the main issue is not just the government of these two countries, the people from these countries are also against bringing Vitaly back to America or Russia. Everyone probably knows how politics works. It's what the people want that the government has to follow. If not, they risk losing power, and the opposition party will use the issue to turn the general people against the current government, and no government wants that. And it's the opposite too. If Vitaly was arrested wrongfully, I can guarantee the people of America and Russia would have united against the Philippines and brought Vitaly back in no time, because the government knows very well that if they can fulfill what the people want, they will get a massive support from the majority of voters. And this is the main reason why America, Russia, and the people from those countries are against returning Vitaly back home. This is one of the reasons he is not getting bail or any kinds of deportation as of right now.
I totally agree with the point where he said it's the people who decide what the government should or shouldn't do. In Vitaly's case, the people of America and Russia are actually against him. So yes, even if the government wanted to, they would never get involved in Vitaly's case or actually try to bring him back. But right now, many people are saying that people in the Philippines are starting to show concern for their own country and are now mentioning how Vitaly helped them. Here are some comments of Filipinos, people where they defending Vitaly, and they are literally saying to forgive him. Vitaly once gave 10,000 pesos to my uncle who was really struggling. We live in Baseco compound, one of the poorest areas in the Philippines. When Vitaly saw our condition, he just gave the money without even thinking. Yeah, he made some mistakes in his pranks, but honestly, he's not a bad person deep down. People forget that Vitaly is also a predator hunter. He's done a lot of good work exposing dangerous people online. Yes, maybe he made a mistake here in the Philippines, but I honestly think he deserves a second chance. Even now, many people around my area in the Philippines are saying good things about him. He helped, he gave, and he stood up for others, and that should count for something. At the very least, he deserves bail right now. There are lots of people saying things like, Vitaly might even get bail in the Philippines. But how realistic is that really?
First is the nature. So in Factors, this is from the omnibus, the Philippines omnibus law, factors in granting or denying bail. So they may consider these factors in whether or not they give a foreigner bail. The nature of the deportation charge. So that would be like, is it serious? Is it not serious? Well, not beyond that. Serious, not serious, but also, is he an undesirable alien, right? Because remember, there is a parallel thing going on. So Vitaly is being prosecuted both in the immigration side and in the criminal side. So usually you might handle it just in the immigration side and kick them out and deem them an undesirable alien and remove them. However, he's been deemed that, but nobody wants to take him. So the nature is fairly serious on the immigration side because nobody wants to take Vitaly. They don't want anything to do with this dude, right? So that seems to err on the more serious side. B, the immigration status of the foreigner. This is very much against Vitaly. So the immigration status, he is a tourist. So he has no connections there. He's not somebody who's married or has a child. So if you are married or have a child, you have a connection to the Philippines. You have a reason not to leave because you want to see your wife. You want to see your children. If you have a business there, you have something that you want to stay there. You don't want to leave because you have a business. So you're not going to be running around going crazy. You're going to be staying in the country.
Right now, behind the scenes of Vitaly's bail or pardon, the main players working hard are his family and his lawyer. And as you might already know, or maybe you don't, his lawyer is reportedly Filipino. So far, what the lawyer is saying is that we should show some humanity as Filipinos and consider letting Vitaly go. From what it sounds like, the lawyer is trying to convince the authorities with this very argument, appealing to compassion and mercy.
Nag-visit ako one time before he was able to say hi. He just started crying and couldn't stop crying. So, as counsel, I'm not there as an emotional support. I with him. He's now better. He found his space. I brought him for devotion, daily devotion, and he's doing better. And he's just hoping that when the time comes, there's an opportunity to ask for the forgiveness of the people he offended, and also of the Filipino. We are a Christian nation. We believe in forgiveness and tayo doon because this guy is really a changed guy. And she wants to forgive.
So as you've probably heard, Vitaly's lawyer, and she's doing everything she can to make that happen. The interesting part, she's actually Filipino herself, and from what we're hearing, quite a few people inside the Philippines are still helping Vitaly behind the scenes, even sharing news and updates to support his case.
A lot of people have been talking about potentially delivering food to Vitaly, saying that they're going to bring him food, they're going to hook him up. That is absolutely happening. I can confirm that Vitaly is getting food runs from supporters. There are some crazy supporters out there that do indeed support Vitaly, despite all of his insanity.
And Vitaly's supporters, they're not just staying quiet. They're out there spreading videos on social media, showing where people have donated to help him, who's been saying good things about him, and who's been supporting him during this whole situation.
Yourself that anything is possible. Dear Jesus Lord, I want you to keep everybody safe. I want everybody to be healthy here. I want everybody for their dreams and inspirations to come true.
So just think about it for a second. Even people in the Philippines are now standing by Vitaly. Yes, maybe he did something terrible, but they're choosing to ignore all that. They're focusing only on the good side of him. Look, I personally think Vitaly should face punishment. He needs to feel the consequences. He needs to go through the pain to truly reflect and pay for what he did. But from what I'm seeing, I honestly feel like he might get pardoned. If not, he could still be deported back to his country. Because even before, the legal team mentioned that deportation is a real option under Philippine law.
So I'm assuming he's undergoing deportation proceedings together with criminal charges.
So right now, it looks like there are 3 possible outcomes being discussed for Vitaly: deportation and bail pardon, or forgiveness. What's really shocking is that now even some Filipinos are starting to support the idea of giving Vitaly bail. And honestly, from everything I'm seeing, I seriously feel like there's a real chance he might escape this whole situation. But what do you think? Should Vitaly be punished no matter what? Or is there actually a chance he might walk free?